Good day devs, welcome to the last part of the Code for You web development course. I hope you are just as excited as I am. And in this part of the tutorial, we are going to be building a to-do app to wrap up everything we've actually learned, and we'll be implementing most of the stuff that we've learned. So without further ado, let's get straight into the course. So basically, I've made a fresh installation of React, and if you actually want to do that, you can clear out the former repository. I actually cleared out the former repository, and if you want to do that, you can just remove all the files that we've created and delete some of the stuffs, basically all the stuffs that we've added. Or instead, you can just do an npm create vite at latest to create to start up a new vite installation. Or better still, you can do npm create react app, and the name of your app name, you can name it anything you want, maybe something like C4Y, C4Y, um to do app, or basically anything you want to name it. After that, well, I've basically installed Bootstrap, which is a CSS library, JSON server, React, React DOM, React Router DOM. Basically, when you make a new React installation, you are going to get the React and React DOM installed automatically, but these remaining dependencies you have to like install them yourself. Especially React and Router DOM, it is very important. The Bootstrap and JSON server, I won't really be using JSON server, but I'll be using Bootstrap to style, and you can just use your custom styles if you want. You don't necessarily have to use Bootstrap. And along the line, if you actually want to learn Bootstrap, you can go to getbootstrap.com, getbootstrap.com, and you can read the documentation. It's very straightforward and very easy to understand. And if you also follow along on this course, you will be learning some basic bootstrap. I'll be talking a lot about bootstrap along the line. So yeah, our fresh installation, we should just start trying to start the app. We should see hello world in the browser. So I'll do an npm run dev, and as we all know, when you run the dev script, it's going to your package.json, look under the script, and if it will check for dev. Here we have dev, meaning it is running vite. If I do not run this and I just, oh sorry, that was the wrong one. And okay, yeah, if I actually run vite, it will still run the vite script, but I just still like to use the npm run dev just to avoid any errors. I'll just use npm run dev, and this should just start up a development environment, and I can just open up my browser. So if I go to localhost, not 3000 is what you get. You go to localhost 3000 if you are using create react app, or if you are using vite, it is 5173. Okay, it seems I have maybe I think I did not clear the app well, so I'm still making an import, whereas I've deleted the file. And I think someone actually pointed this out in the group. Someone had an error like this. Okay, now here is where my problem is. I just need to remove the provider, and if I should open this, everything should be working fine. I have hello world displaying in my browser. So yeah, I just like to close this terminal. It's a little distracting, so I'll just close this, and we can just go right into the course. So like I said earlier, we are going to be creating a to-do app, and normally I want to use state to like store a list of to do's just to test it out, and then design, and maybe we will do some create, read, update, and delete. But then we already know about context, like context API, a better way of managing our states. So, and that is what I'm going to be using here. So here I'm going to go to my root directory just by clicking here. I'll go back to my root directory, or you can just click on top here and you'll be taken to your root directory. And here I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to name it context, and that is where I'll be storing any context I will be using in this app. So basically what I'm going to do is just create a new file for my context, and it should just be a list of to-dos. So I'll just name it to-do dot jsx. It should be jsx because a context is something like a reactor. So what I need to do is import create context, create context, and that's coming from React. Just hit enter. If you have the extension I actually recommended like 2 videos back, or when we actually started React, you should be able to do what I just did. And then after importing create context, what I need to do is to create a new context. So I can just say const to do context is equal to create, oops, sorry, create context, and that will actually create a new context for me. And if I actually have a context, I need the provider to like provide whatever value I'm keeping in my context. So I need to do a const to do provider. Mind you, there are actually different ways of writing code. I don't necessarily have to do the provider here. I could go into my app and do my provider there. But yeah, just to keep the code clean and just to make sure things flow well, that is where I'm actually creating my provider out here. So that will be like a React functional component. So I'm using an arrow component, an arrow functional component, and as such, I should have a return out here. So my return should have brackets since it is not a single line return, and I'll be having my to-do provider, my to-do context dot provider, open close, and my provider should have values. Since I'll be wrapping this, like I'll be keeping my elements inside the provider. It needs to have a children props. So inside here, inside my value should just be a list of objects, and inside here I should be displaying whatever children I'm getting. And children are just like the elements are like the components that I'll be keeping inside my provider my providers that could actually access the data in my provider. And you'll see what I'm talking about in a little bit, even though I've already explained this in the previous video. So we can just do a export default to the provider. Yeah, we can do an export, yeah, default export for that. Mind you, we also need to export the to-do context, because to use the context, we will need to import it, and to import anything you need to you need to export it in the first place. So yeah, as such, I would like to create a new component because I would like to keep my app.jsx as clean as possible. So I would like to create a new component. So inside my source file, like I just did, just to keep things clean and to keep the code well synchronized, I'm just going to like create a new folder and name it components. So components, I'm just going to create a new file inside the component, and I'll name it to do dot jsx, or better still, just to since we already have it to do in the context, even though it doesn't really matter, I could just do it to do's list instead. Yeah, it to do's list instead. So I'll just do refc, hit enter, and I should get my functional component. So I'm going back to my app.js just to import that. So instead of having this, I could just use semantic HTML and just, yeah, use main, then write to do. Okay, it should be to do list, I guess. Yeah, to do list. So after hitting enter, it automatically imported it for me. You just need to install the extension, the ES7 React, JavaScript, Vue.js, all those stuff extension. You need to go there and just search for that. So yeah, basically I should be seeing to-dos list. Yeah, because I've imported the component, I should be seeing to-dos list in my um browser. So I need to go back to my main.js so I can actually use my provider. And as such, just after the strict mode, I'll be using my provider here. So to-dos provider, I'm importing the provider, and I'll be wrapping my app with the provider so I could actually access whatever data this provider contains. Yeah, and I think this is the only place we'll be using the provider component. And okay, I need to explain something. And like I said earlier, the you might be wondering why we don't have a children props here. The children is actually this component right here. So if I actually add more components, it's still part of the children. So this is like the children props I am passing in. So it is getting this app as props and it is displaying it right here. So if I go to my to-dos, it is displaying it right here because it is getting it as a prop, and I'm restructuring the prop. I could actually do a prop with children, but yeah, well, since I could destructure, that's why we have restructuring. Object destructure, I'm having the children here. So yeah, let's work on our to do. So basically, I just want to like do some dummy data first before we actually start interacting with our data. So I'll do a const. I'll use it. I'll use state. So I'll do to do's, comma, set to do's, then is equal to use state, and my state will be having an object, or better still an array of objects. That is like the correct thing to do right now. So an array of objects, and the first, so we should have like an id, so it should be number. So I'll just give this 0 0, and then title, like the name of what I want to do, and I should just say create a to do app, and I'll actually check this after the video so we can just be sure we are done with our to-do app. And then I could have a description: create a to-do app with some awesome friends. Okay, that's not the way to spell it, friends, at good for you, and the internet. Yeah, so do I need something else? Okay, check. I want to add a checked field just to check if it is checked or not. So I'll just put false for now, that the checked field is not actually checked. So comma, because I would like to add more stuff to do. So maybe I could just say prepare for test, because I actually have test next week. So I'll just do prepare for text. I'll just leave the description so as not to waste time. I need to do this to okay one. Sorry, I missed out on that counting just right here. So then create to do, maybe just do the dishes. Yeah, do the dishes. So I want to leave one to be true. Okay, no, this can be true. We are not done with our to do app. So false. Oh, sorry. So it is a boolean, so I don't really need to add like um whatever that is. So then true. I want this to be checked. Prepare for test. I'm still not prepared for test, but yeah, let's just keep it at that. And then my value should just be my to do. I want it to do and set to do's. Okay, this should be to do's instead. And then I'll end the to do's list. I want to use that, so I just have const to do's should be equal to, or better still, structure it. To do's should be equal, use context. Yeah, I'm using context, and that is imported for me automatically from React. Then I'm using the to do's, yeah, the to do context, and that's also imported automatically. So just to make sure everything is working fine, I could just do a console log first. A console log of the to do's. It should be to do's instead. I named it to do's, so it should be to do's. So yeah, let us try this out. Real, I think I have an okay. I can't really say for sure. Okay, I should be going to my console instead. Yeah, I have an error. Okay, use state is not defined. That means I'm not importing the use state, and I need to just remove one React import, and then I need to import the use state from React. Okay, I think I'm not using the state here. Sorry about that. I'm actually using it here. So I need to import use state from React, and then boom, everything is working fine. As you can see, I could actually access data my data. Since I'm using a context, I could access it. And there is one more thing I would just like to show you, and it is this: the React 2. The React 2, you can actually download this. This is a Chrome extension you can actually download. So when you download the Chrome extension, you should see this, a profile like component here. So you can just click on the component, and yeah, I don't know why this doesn't click at the first place. As you can see, it has given me like how my app, the data in my app, how it is structured. You can see the list of props. Like I said earlier, okay, let me just reload. Yeah, as you see, I have a props here. Like I said earlier, the children is a prop, and the app component is a prop. And when we talk about prop, you can actually pass anything into a prop. And here we are actually passing the components and the children. If you actually add more props, if you add more components, we are going to see them right here in the props. So hooks, I'm using, okay, it will also list like all the hooks I'm using here. As you can see, I'm using the use state hooks, so I'm using state hooks, and it has given me all the data I'm actually using. As you can see, I can see it here. So you can just use this to like monitor your app and stuff, and it's actually useful too. And we might actually just use it right here in this video. We might use it a lot, and we might not. Well, but subsequently you will need it. So yeah, that's that about that. You can learn more about React tools on the internet. Yeah, pretty straightforward tutorials you can find on the internet. So yeah, going back to my list, I could actually go to my to-dos list here, remove the console log, and actually try to like display data. So instead of having a div, I'll just use a fragment instead. Subsequently, I'm going to be writing JavaScript inside my components. So I'll be using the curly braces. So I'll do a to-dos dot map instead of using a for each or something. It's a map is actually faster. So you can just say for each to do. I could put that in brackets for each to do, and the key of the to do, that is the index, something like the index. Okay, I don't want to use curly braces because it is only when you're writing like JavaScript that you can use curly braces in this kind of functions. Else you should just use brackets, and React to automatically understand that okay, you are trying to like return these and render it. So for each, so dot map, I could just say um well, not a fragment per se. I could say li, that is a list. Then I can add the key, and then it should just be equal to my key, and I could just say to do the title, and this needs to be in brackets in curly braces. So I have my to do the title, and I could just come out here and add another component and add another element and on another list element, just to be sure I'm having an unordered list. So I'll just come right here and tap this a little, just like structure the code well. And somehow, okay, yeah, there's a mistake here. This one needs to be outside. Yeah, it needs to be outside. As such, I'm sorry. As such, I won't be needing this, and this needs to be okay. and then I'll be needing this. Yeah, I think this is good. This is good. So just start, just remove structuring it well and removing some extra spaces. And yeah, let us see. And yes, we have three lists. We have our three to-dos. But then how do we know if it is checked or not? So I'm going to add like a new input here, inputs, and it will to close by itself. And I can say type goes to checkbox, checkbox, and I could add the class name of form inputs or form control, and that is like that is from Bootstrap actually. There is styles for that in Bootstrap. Bootstrap is the library. We already have styles for the form control, so I could just use it here. So that's the form control, and checked whether it is checked or not is based on to do dot check. I just need to be sure I named that right. Is it checked? Yeah, it's checked. So basically we can check this out. As you can see, we have one, and this one it's actually checked because it was because I added true here in the to-do app. As you can see, I have true here. So this second one is supposed to be checked, and yeah, it is checked. I would just like to add some basic styles. In order not to waste time, I will just pause the video and then style a bit, then I will resume back in a bit. Okay guys, welcome back. So I added a little style. As you can see, I just added an ugly nav with the home ads to do, and this add to do we are going to implement very soon, and that is to just add new to dos. And then yeah, I have my list, and as you can see, I can't change this because it is coming from the something like database. I will not really call that a database, but yeah, I can call it a database. So now what I would like to do is to implement this check, so I could actually check and uncheck this. So let's go back to our code. And also before I do that, what if we don't actually have to do's? Then we should really check for that. So a way to actually to do that is to do a to do, use a ternary operator, or better we could just use the and to do and. So if we have a list of to do's, then we are going to see this. Else, let us display something else if we don't have it. So we can say if no to do's, and then we can just display nothing to see here. Sadness. Yeah, so everything we can't actually see that because we have a list of to-dos. So let me just go back to my to-dos, my to-do context, and I'll just delete everything. Or better still, I can just replace it with null just to be sure we don't have any data. And yeah, as you can see, nothing to see here is sadness. But then I would like to try something else just to check if there is a better way to do this. So I'll just pause this, paste it on top, remove this. Okay, so yeah, so yeah, that doesn't work. I really hoped it would have worked. So basically we're just going to do this. Yeah, we're just going to keep it like this for now, even though there is another way we could actually go around this, and I think we should just check that out instead. So we could use the ternary operator. So if that actually exists, So let me cut this out. Now delete these two. So if it exists, then yeah, do this. Else, just return this bracket. Just return nothing to see here. The sadness. So yeah, and it works the same way even if when we reload. So I'd like to go back to my to-dos and just Ctrl Z, and everything is back to normal. And that why I actually wanted to implement that is when we start deleting our to-dos, because later on we actually have a delete button somewhere to actually delete our to-dos in case we don't want to do this anymore today. Maybe we've added it to tomorrow, we could just delete it, or maybe today has ended and we want to delete it. And I won't really be adding functionalities that will like separate the to-dos for each days, but you can actually do that subsequently, just like practice your real skills and all. So without further ado, let us implement our checkbox. So back to my code, I could actually have the function for the checkbox. I could have it here, and I could pass it through um my context. And as such, I would just like to remove the set use. I think I'll be using it here for now, and if I ever need to like use it outside of this file, I'll most definitely add it to the values. So yeah, I'd just like to create a new function called const undo check box, and then it's just be another function, a normal JavaScript function, which I'll be passing into my context. So undo check. So what I would like to do is the to-dos is just get a new, okay, let's do a const new to-dos, then should be equals to dos dot map. I would like to map through it, and for each to do I want to check for the ID. So I want to check if the ID is equal to let's see, okay, this function I want it to receive a props named ID. So I want to check if the to do dot ID is equal to the ID that was passed in. So if it is, I want to change or no, let me do, if it is not, return the to do, else that is if the to do, if the ID of the to do is actually equals to the ID that was passed, then what I want to do is the to do dot check. Yeah, I think I named it check, should then be set to um well, okay, the opposite of the to do dot check. Yeah, I think this should work. As such, I would like to set to dos to the new um to dos, and yeah, this should actually work. Let's try it out. Cross our fingers and hope it actually works. So under checkbox, and I could just go back to my to-dos list, and I will just so I could write a function here, but first for my to-dos I need to import undo checkbox from my context. So right here in the input, I want to add an event listener, the on check, on change, the on change event listener, the on change event listener, and I want to use undo checkbox. So let's try this out, and whoop, let's see, let's try and reload that. uh, okay, let us check why is this not okay. We actually, yeah, we need to pass the parameter. Yeah, I almost forgot. Well, I forgot actually. Right here, we are supposed to pass a parameter, an ID parameter. So going back to my to-dos list, I'll just make this a function. The function, so I'm passing the to-do dot ID, and let us cross our fingers again. And yes, it works. But for some reason, my to-do is disappearing. For some reason, it is disappearing. I guess I'm only changing the value of the to-do. So I need to go back here. Something I need to do is just to like spread the remaining value, I guess. So yeah, right here I need to spread the remaining value. So basically, okay, it should be happening right here inside my camera picture. Sorry about that. I'll just so for each to do, oh no, not here, but right here. Yes. So I just want to spread the to do, and here instead of just spreading, I want to spread the to do, but then I want to change the value of the to do dots, and for some reason this is expecting something else. So to do the check, oh, this exists. Why are you trying to give me an error? Okay, I think I should try this. Checked should be equal to, yeah, this should work. So let me go back, reload. Everything is back to normal, and yes, everything works fine now. So I can check and uncheck my box, so I can actually get a list of what is checked and what is not. So yeah, since that is working, I think we could actually move to the next feature. And the next feature I would like to implement is to actually delete this. So basically, let me just, this is too much, and then Control B to hide that. So what I could do is to create a new function, const undo delete should be equals to, I should be getting the ID from that too. So I should be getting the ID. So const new to dos, and here I would like to use another function. Sorry, another function, another function, the filter, and this is just normal JavaScript, I guess. So that filter. So for each to do, I want to filter out only the to do with the ID equals to the ID that was passed. So then I'll set to do's to my new to do's or undo deletes. Then I need to just pass this to my context. So undo deletes, and then I could just go to my list, and this is actually getting really long. I don't like that, so I'm just going to do an alt Z, an alt Z, or alt Z, however you like it, and it just wrap the code. So I could actually add more stuff here, or instead let me just break it. Let me break it into smaller bits, and yeah, I think this is better. So after the title, I would like to add a button, an input type. No, type should be button, and class name btn, um btn danger. That should give it a red color. So the value of the button is delete. So let's see, we have a big red delete button. I mean, this should really scare you, so you should know that you are not supposed to click this because it's so red and it's so scary. Yeah, So let me just type delete. So maybe I should bring the delete button to the right. So to do that, I should just add a span, maybe. Even though I don't necessarily have to use a span, I could use something else. But yeah, span. I'm not teaching HTML here. I'm teaching React. So span. I already have a display of flex, so this should just, yeah, give it side by side. And what I can do is just this group. I think let me just copy this class name. It's actually coming from React, but I like to copy it. So dot, and then I like to edit it a bit. So what I want is to justify the content, and I want to space between. So let's see. And yes, my button is here, but then I have a little problem here. So I should just go back to my to-dos list, and I should give this a class name of dflex, that is display flex. And yes, this is just a little better, even though it is going up. Well, you can add better styling. I think I'm cool with this for now. So when I click this delete button, I want it to actually remove this, and I think I've done the code. So then I'm going to just add an event listener of on click, since it is a button. So on click, I want to run a function which is the undo delete function, which I'm yet to actually bring in. So I like to do that now. Undo delete. And yes, before I forget, I need to pass in my ID. So to do that ID, and yeah, I think this should work now. Boom. But then for some reason, let me reload. It is keeping, so I must have made a little mistake in my code. Okay, it is not, I'm not supposed to like return um the to do with the ID. I'm supposed to not return the to do with the ID. So let's go back and try again. So delete, that one is gone. Do the dishes. So I'm just going to prepare for test. But now that won't be fair. I need to create an app for you guys. So I'll reload and I will delete, do the dishes. So I have two things to do now. I need to finish creating this to do app and then continue to prepare for my tests. So basically we've done create, we've done read, and we've done delete. So we need to just create and then update, and then yeah, I think we're just done with this tutorial. But basically I don't think I'll be updating here, but I'll most definitely be creating. So I'd like to implement this page now. As such, I'll be going back to my app, and yeah, as you can see, I'm importing the bootstrap, and I'm using use effects because I wanted to load the script once, because when it starts to load it twice, then I start to get some nasty errors I don't really want. So I'm importing the bootstrap just once, and the CSS I can import it as many times as I want. So yeah, so out here I would like to implement my router. So I like to implement my router here, but then yeah, I should actually do that here. So I'm going to wrap this around a browser router, and that is coming from my React DOM, and this should be like routing on my apps, but I won't like it to yeah, so I like to bring it here. And then the routes, I would like to bring that in from router DOM too. So I have different routes. So the routes are, oh no, the routes is single routes, then with the exact path equal to slash. So in the home route, I want to be rendering this much. Yes, I want to render this much. Let me type this in. Let me type this. So I have my first route. So another route I would like to have is with the path slash add new, and then I think I'll just render one element for this one. So I'll just add an element, and I'll come back to this once I create that component that I would like to be rendering. So back to my component. Okay, to be a page, so I'm going to my source directory to create a new file called add new to do.jsx. So I'll do rfce, and yes, I have, but then I'd like to capitalize it to add to do basically. So I'm going back to my app, and I'm going to be importing that a add to do. And yes, I think I'm done with my browser router. Control reload. I have an error. Let's see. All component children of routes must be routes. Okay, I think I'm of browser route must be routes. Well, why am I having an error? I think all of them are routes. Okay, maybe because I'm rendering more than one element here. So I just like to cut this out, remove the routes of paths, then save close it, add element equals to, yeah. So I like to create its own element too. So I'll go back here and say first page, the JSX RESC first page, search, remove this, paste this right here, go back to my app, and then first page, and let's see. I'm still getting that error. Why? To-do list is not defined. Okay, it's another error actually. So going back to first page, my to-do list component is not imported, so I'm doing that now, and boom, everything works just fine. But then when I click this button, nothing is going to happen because I've not changed anything in my nav. So I should be going to slash add new RA. So basically when I click on this now, it should work. So add to do, it is working. Let me close my console since I've solved the error. So as we go, like as we move in this course, as you see, as you can see, I'm actually checking my console for errors. I'm actually teaching you how to like debug, and if you actually get an error that you can't actually solve, before you just ask anybody, ask Google first. Google is like your best friend right now, so just ask Google and you most likely get an answer, because a lot of, like, someone would have already asked what, would have already encountered that error that you're encountering now, and they would have asked on the web, so you can just ask Google and it will find it for you. So yeah, let us implement this new page, because I think we are good with the home page now. We can check. Okay, I'm done with creating. I'm not done, so I want to check it, prepare for test. Most definitely I'm not done, and as a matter of fact, I will be going back to my to-do list. Okay, to my to-dos, I think I have it here. So to my to-dos, and I'll be changing this to false. So yeah, I have that as false. So now let me go to my add new to-do, and here I'll just like to have a form where I like to use semantic HTML. Sometimes I just forget, but then right now I remember. So input, type of text, title should be title, even though this is not really useful here, but then yeah, title. Let me add a label, of title, and then title, then class name or form control, just to have a little style out here. So yeah, I think I have my first form, and I'll just like to put this down, title, and this one should be text area. Yeah, so this should be description. hmm. Let's see, go to my add to do. So we have title, description. Let me just break the line out here, yeah, just to make it nicer. And then the label should be bold. Yes, I like what I see. Bold. So I can add title and then the other stuff. I like to break here too. So then add another input of class name of button, btn, then btn success. That should give me a green button. Yeah, I don't have anything there. So value is add to do. Okay, why do I have, okay, text is supposed to be a submit. Yeah, it should be a submit. But then, as you can see, whenever I click on this, it is reloading my browser. I don't like that. I will take care of that later, most definitely. So then I want to use states, but then as it stands, I want to manage all my states here. So I'm going to add a new state. Oh, not here. Yeah, yeah, right here. I want to manage all my states here, so I'm going to add const title, comma set title, and then it should be equal to use state, use state, and it should be an empty text, and then description and set description, and then the four of those that I've actually created, I'm going to be passing here title, description, set description, and the set title. So I want to use them in my add new to dos. As you can see, I don't really have to be passing props all around. I just need to use the context out here. So I could just say const and use description. No, sorry, set description, set title, and then the title and the description should then be equal to use context, which is coming from React, then to do context. So let me remove, oops, sorry, let me remove the import React. So yeah, I have my stuff right here. So I will set the value of this to title, and I can set the value of this to description. So on change, that is whenever I make a new change, I want to yeah, I want to get the events, and then I want to set description to e dot target dot value. I don't think I need to explain this. This is just simple stuff. So then the same thing here on change, then I should get an event. An event will be emitted. So I need to say description, no, set title, I think. set title to e dot target dot value. And yeah, let me try this out. It works fine. Let me see. Let me check my reload first. Then I need to check my components, my React tools, my React tools. As you can see, I have more context now. And this navigation provider, location provider, as you can see, the React Router DOM uses context API too. So here, my value right here, as you can see, my to do, I still have my to dos, and I have the handle checkbox, handle delete, set description, set title, the description. As you can see, as I'm typing here, it's actually updating here. That means my state is actually updating. My state is updating. So delete, it is updating. And yeah, that is nice. That is a good sign. So I'll just close this. And since I'm already getting the value, how do I add it to the already existing data? So I need to go back to my to-dos and create a new function. I think I create function below the states. So yeah, a const add new data should be equals to um oh, I don't need to get data. I just need to check if I have something in my title and my description. I just need to check if they are not empty. So I'll just say title, maybe a ternary operator, or better still, let me just go straight to running my function. Just const data I want to like add to the database should just be equal to an object with an id. I will set to this person, and then a title of title, yeah, this title right here, and then a description. Well, I don't really need to type title and title, it automatically gets it by itself. So the title, the description, and the checked should be false by default. So check this false by default, and then back to my id. Let me think. Okay, yeah. Since I actually have like my to-dos here, what I can do is to-dos dot length. So I want to check if the to-do, firstly let me just add a question mark here, just to check if there is actually a to-do. So if there is a to-do, then the to-do dot length, I want to check if it exists. Or maybe I don't really need to check if a to-do exists. So the to-do dot length, if it exists, what I want to do is to-dos, then to-dos dot length minus one, and this should actually be checking for like the last to do on the list. Then dot id, yeah, I want to get the id of the last element, then I want to add one. Well, you might be wondering, why don't I just do a to do's the length minus one dot id? The id might not really be correct, like it might not really follow 1 2 3 stuff like that. So I just have to like get the id of the last element and then add one to it. Trust me, this is like the best way to do it. Well, you could find a better way. I mean, you could find a better way, but yeah, this is how I'm going to do it. Else, just set the id to 0, because if there is no length, if it doesn't have a length, then there is no element here, and I might just set the id to 0, and yeah, I think this should work fine. No, it should not work fine because I mean, I don't have the rest of my data yet. So what I need to do is just to set to do's. So it is an array. I want to spread. Okay. Why are you doing this to me? I did not plan to do that. And then data. Sorry, I'm trying to spread the format to do's. So I'm trying to spread them in this array and then add the new data. This should just work fine right out of the box. So I'm going to make this available in my context. So you can go back to add new to do. I'm going to import this, add new to do. I hope I'm correct. So yeah, back to my this. So on click, I want to okay add new to do, and then I want to go back to my to do. I said I'll prevent the browser from actually reloading, and yes, I'm going to do that. So I'll be getting an e from here, an event to be emitted. So I'll be getting the event. So I can do an e dot prevent default. Okay, that's how to spell default. E dot prevent default, and this should actually prevent the browser from reloading. So basically, I think I'm done here. This should just work right out of the box. Let me cross check. So add new to do. Let's see, did I name that right? So yeah, guess as much. It is not add new to do, it is add new data. So I need to change this a. I'm just trying to like run from errors. So yeah, let's see. Let's reload. Title, and then description. Well, just for some minutes. Add. Let's see. Let me check my components. And I just discovered I did not actually add a way for us to actually see if this worked or not. So yeah, it actually worked because if you check our to-dos here, I can see well just for some minutes. Let me try and go back home. Yeah, the browser actually reloaded, so somehow the data got reloaded, and as you can see we have three datas again. So something I think, well, I was just trying to like demonstrate the idea of, you know, having multiple pages, but I guess that will not really work fine for us. So what I'm going to do is just to go back to my nav, remove this slash whatever. I think you've already gotten the idea right here. You've already gotten why I actually added it in the first place. So I'd like to like bring it to this page so that whenever I add something new, it will actually show it. And also, after setting this, before I, no, yeah, after setting it, or maybe before, I've already gotten the data here, so I don't think, just to be safe, after my title, I would like to set title to an empty string, then set description to empty too. And so yeah, then one more thing, the to-dos list. No, so yeah, first page. My first page, I would like to add my add to do component right on top of a. So yeah, I can test this out now. Let me try and close this so we can actually test. So think about your life for a minute. Just sit and think about your life. or a minute. Don't overthink. Do. God is in control. So let us add this and see. And yes, we have it right here. And as a matter of fact, we can check it too, and we can delete it back. We can even delete this and delete the dishes. Well, I still have to study for my test. I mean, tomorrow is Monday, and I should be having mass also. Yeah. So let me just try and study for my test. Study engine maths. Study engine maths, because you have test. So if I had this to do, as you can see, I have studied engine maths. I've not done that, but do you know something I've done? I have created a to-do app, and you have successfully created a to-do app too. So please give yourself a round of applause if you've made it here. I mean, you've really gone a long way, and just keep striving. I mean, there's still a lot to learn about React, but from this point, I think you are just good enough to like create your own apps, start your own basic app, and if you actually want more knowledge, you can read the documentation, you can check out other videos on YouTube. Even though I think you are pretty comfortable now, you should just do more of research, maybe reading articles and reading the documentation. Just keep in touch with React. They are always updating, they are always moving. There is also a React framework, the Next.js. It will actually make a lot of things easier. Like the React, you don't need React Router DAM. You don't need a lot of things as it will give you all these stuff. And also when you're building like very large applications, even though context API is like very cool and you don't really need more than that to handle a lot of states. But if you have more states and like your application is very large, there is Redux. Redux will help you to manage your states better, and even your functions, the functions you'll be having in your state, it will help you to manage it better. But Redux and Next.js are like beyond the scope of this tutorial. Maybe we could actually have another cohort and we'll talk more about these technologies. But better still, you can learn it on your own. I mean, they are just straightforward frameworks. You already know JavaScript. I'm sure you are comfortable with React now. You can read the documentations. You can check out Vite, check out Next.js, check out Gatsby, check out anything you want. Just play around with React and all. Above all, keep on coding, never give up. Thank you for watching. We've successfully created a to-do app. You can add more functionalities like um, you can add maybe date, like there will be different tasks for today. You can set tasks for tomorrow, so you can expand the app. Just play around with it. I mean, don't really mind my design. Sorry for the bad design, but I'm just trying to like teach you React, not how to design. So yeah, that's that about that. I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you, my gorgeous friend of the internet. See you later.